What is your favorite color? Please relax. I want answer now. Fine. It's... Oh my god! Red. Will you explode like Crater Bug if I give you the nut? What? Oh, peanuts. The countdown flickers on the screen, the vessel's shuddering to life. 10, 9, 8. Oh my god! Please, no! Hello my loves, I'm Degenerate and welcome to ASTRONOUGHT. I found this game while I was looking at Mushroom Oasis again for the billionth time, and this is by the same creator. I was like, oh my gosh, another game from them, because I loved, what was it called? Lift Your Spirits. It was amazing, and we all love Mushroom Oasis, so this one has to be just as good. I'm very excited. Let us read the synopsis though. You wake up aboard your ship under red emergency lights and no sign of your crewmates. Very mouthwashing-esque. Except for one fresh recruit you've never met before. They're a little eccentric and talk a bit weird, but that's nothing you can't handle. As the designated mechanic of the... what the hell? Badari?
Wrong.
A vessel said to deliver a shipment of Earthian pet supplies across the galaxy. It's your job to make sure things around the ship work like they're meant to. Something went wrong. That you knew. You just hope you can figure it out before things go horribly wrong. Let's check our loads. Obviously there's nothing there. I just downloaded it. Let us begin. ... It is 221. Okay, I was right. The first time. Vessel Badari 221. Destination. No. Designation. Mechanic. Please input crewmate identification. Sure. That is one. Ooh. I like that. I like when the load thingy shows a little picture. It's very cute. Ooh. The moment my eyes flicked open, I instantly knew something was wrong. Bright red lights flooded the ambience within my private quarters, leaving everything looking blood-soaked and gruesome. For a second there was a pulse of fear in my chest before it faded. My logic stifled my instincts, telling me it was too soon to panic. Despite how the crimson hues signaled danger all around me, it was better to keep my head on straight. My hand reaches up to scratch the uncomfortable itch on my collar, only to find my arm was caught underneath my toppled desk. Okay. Something crashed or something. Maybe it's an Among Us situation with only 2 people. Luckily, my suit cushioned most of the impact, leaving a dull ache and nothing more. Grunting with effort, I kicked off the offending furniture and sat up to assess everything, fixing my visor over my eyes. I casted a quick glance around my room, some furniture toppled on their sides, and my usual neat shelf of books and trinkets chaotic and disorganized. Did the ship crash into something while I was asleep? Usually there was a piercing alarm accompanying the emergency lights, but oddly enough, it's gone quiet. Either I slept through it somehow, or something else happened for it to malfunction. As the person in charge of repairs and maintenance, that didn't bode well to me in the slightest. Just the sheer volume of that siren should have woken me up. Sigh? Ooh. Oh, the room. Okay. I called out the room, expecting Matronly, if a little stoic voice to respond back. Delayed responses from the ship's AI weren't common, but they could still happen. As a shipcraft shipping nothing but Earthian pet supplies across the galaxy, we weren't really working with the most advanced tech there is. Not to mention the budget cuts. I sighed, already feeling a migraine forming in the back of my head. Sigh, can you respond, please? Still nothing. I clicked my tongue. It's not a good start. I inhaled deeply and stood up to exit my room, my boots clunking down the hall. The only accompaniment, Jesus, I had as I made my way to the main console. Ooh. Yes. I remember this hallway. It does look like the one for mouthwashing. Along the way, I didn't see any other signs of disturbance. Not like the one in my room, at least. I scratched at my arm, keeping a lookout for any trouble. Everything seemed to be business as usual. Other than the emergency lights, that is. A nagging thought crept into my head. While I was wanting to take the current situation seriously, I couldn't help feeling skeptical. Was it another one of their pranks again? It's been a few months of me working for this company. I was expecting the hazing phase to die out any day now. Or at least I hoped it would eventually. There's only so many ways one can keep themselves entertained on a ship vessel, months into a trip, I suppose. I just hated the fact that I was one of those ways. Regardless, whatever's happening is worth investigating, awful coworkers or not. I could only hope I got out of this one without any lasting trouble. Ooh, space sounds. Reaching the main console of the ship, I frowned at the absence of my crewmates. It was getting a little ridiculous how quiet the space was, other than the ambient humming and occasional blips from the console. At first, I didn't want to feel offended at the fact nobody came to fetch me if it was a possible emergency. But the greeting silence only formed a pit in my stomach. Captain? Anyone? Is this another disappearing bit? Because it was funny the last two times. It wasn't funny the last two times either. Yeah, not even the first time? Oh well. The lights are nice though. No stifled chortles. No snarky quips. Bristling from the quiet, I called out again. Come on guys, I'd rather you insult me than leave me in the dark like this. Nothing? I sighed and shuffled over to the main panel. Oh. Pulling the lever to disable the emergency lights. You could just turn on emergency lights. I feel like this should just happen automatically. The dark gory tint of the room fades away into its usual sterile white. Glad to see that's working fine. Standing there, I expected someone to at least reveal themselves already. It's like a game of chicken to see if I'll break down first. I folded my arms, sitting awkwardly in the center of the room. Nothing but absolute, stifling silence. Guys. With every passing second, a heavy sense of trepidation grew. I love these words. Oh my gosh. I swallowed down the inevitability I had to accept that it wasn't a practical joke after all, shuffling to the console hurriedly. Hurriedly? I don't know. I checked the rest of the systems. Artificial gravity, navigation, communications. My brows furrowed as I squinted down at all the panels. It's like everything was reset. I perked up as I caught sight of the reboot logo, the ship trimming back and forth on one of the screens. Psi AP must be restarting. Oh. I waited impatiently for the familiar dinkling chime to ring through the speakers. Psi? What's up, buddy? Hello. The low, droning voice was littered with more static than usual. I was just glad to hear someone talk back. Oh, thank gods. Is everything alright? You don't sound too good. The current state of my systems are suboptimal. Several of my primary functions are oh. Are disabled or inoperable. Operable. I recommend repairs immediately. I'll get right on that once I figure out what's going on. I fidgeted with my tool belt as I thought of something simple to ask. What happened to the ship? Where's everyone else? Do we care? Do we care about everybody else? They don't seem very nice. I would like to go to... You know what? Let's care. One crew member accounted for. Just one? Me. That was concerning. There's supposed to be 5 of us. Oh, brother. Can you, scan for everyone else? Negative. What? Why? As I have mentioned, I am in dire need of repairs. My biometric scanners are inoperable. My tracking systems are inoperable. Okay, I got it. What could possibly cause so much damage in my sleep? Oh, I can still ask. Oh man. There was a short pause before Sai was able to respond. Significant impact was detected against the rear exterior of the ship. My brows raised. We hit something? No, something hit us. He said the rear. So, affirmative. What? Significant impact was detected against the rear. That's the back. Rear end, you know, your butt, the back. Wouldn't it mean someone hit us? Ah! I grimaced, my worst fear coming true. I was really hoping that wasn't the case. And how long ago? Approximately 24 minutes ago. Oh, minutes. And I was passed out on the floor the entire time? Apparently. This might be more serious than I thought. Okay, that answers that. How bad is it? Unknown. Menu assessments required. Good thing I stuttered too. I gulped, my breath stilling for a second. The thought of having to leave the safety of the ship and crawl along the outside, tethered by nothing but a flimsy cable to inspect damage, who knows how bad. Yikes. I leaned forward as I would never do this. I don't like space. I don't like anything dangerous. That's normal though. You will never catch me on the ocean, in the sky, for long periods of time, in space. No. I've seen too many movies. Too many scary space movies. And scary, like, beach movies, or just ocean, Lost at Sea movie. No. I would rather die. I leaned forward as a nervous laugh spilled between my teeth, hands gripping the edge of the console to steady myself. I'll get to it later. I said I'll get to it later. I do not recommend postponing the repairs. It is affecting my performance significantly, Lee. I'm not postponing, I'm just building up to it. Think about it like that. Okay. I really insist. I'm not going out there. Drop it, Sai. Very well. Deep down, I knew it was foolish to disregard Sai's advice. I was the mechanic, for God's sake. The only one? Jesus! Fixing things was the entire point of me being hired onto this crew. It's giving Daisuke. I didn't need a semi-advanced AI to tell me that. I turned my attention back to the console. My eyes were glued to the big red button, right at the edge. And you want to press that? My hand twitching with the urge to press it. Okay. Maybe it was too soon to panic, but with everything going on, I was stumped on what to do. I head back, clenching my hands into fists so tight I could hear my gloves squeak. If I pressed that button and made a fool of myself, not a single person on this vessel would let me live it down. Dread forming in my throat, I dragged my boots across the floor, ignoring the tremors in my hands as I prepared to head to the loading bay. Pausing at the door, I threw out one last question in the air. We're not in immediate danger, are we? Sai? Are we in danger? Error. Needed it on purpose. I bruised my brows, gathering whatever courage I had. Astrophobia? Be damned. I had to do my job. What does that red button do? Now I want to know. Traversing down the halls, I kept an eye out for any signs of my crew members. While repairing the Bidari was my main priority. That doesn't say Bidari, it says Bidari. While repairing the Bidadari was my main priority at the moment, it didn't hurt to see if I could find any of my absolute colleagues. Well, absent. Oopsies. Plus, I wasn't really thrilled with the idea of leaving the ship without someone watching my back. Maybe I was still holding onto the hope that this was all some sick joke. They just upped the game with their pranks is all. Seeing as they haven't gotten a decent reaction out of me in a while. They couldn't have possibly abandoned me, right? Just as my thoughts were about to spiral into negative territory, I heard faint footsteps from down the hall. My head whipped to the side, just in time for me to catch a glimpse of one of my crewmates donned in one of the external suits. Were they from the loading bay? The helmet shone against the bright light, obscuring the wearer inside as they darted out of sight. Oh my god. My hope rekindled. I quickly pursued them down the hall. Hey! I turned the corner just to see their back in time. Hey, wait up! Uh-oh. They instantly stopped, spinning on their heel, and stared back at me with a rigid spine. I couldn't see their eyes from behind the darkened glass, but I could feel the weight of their gaze. I looked down at the name tag on their suit, but it seemed to have been ripped off. Oh, interesting. Whoever it was, I didn't care. So glad I finally found someone. I was this close to thinking, uh-oh. I hesitated, biting down on my tongue. I couldn't show this person I was freaking out. Absolutely not. Anyways, where's everyone else? Do you know where they are? They stood completely still, seeming to tremble slightly. Uma? Hello? The voice came out muffled. What? Hang on, let me just... I reached over to flick the mic on their helmet. It scared me a little bit. They paused for a moment before speaking once more, their hesitant voice ringing through. Luna? Oh, no, I'm not the moon. That's better. They seemed to vibrate with excitement. Delight! Amazing to see you. That's not my name. Amazing to... I looked over their frame, trying to pinpoint their height or look for any indicator that I knew who it was. Whoever it was, they were pretty short. Is that you, Marcus? They bristled as if offended. The doctor? Ew. He is smelly like the meteor slugs and star debris. Okay. Is that you, Kiara? They scoffed. Nosy cook? She is smelly too. Oh. Who could this possibly be? Based on their attitude so far, it didn't seem like it was anyone I recognized. I clubbed my brain for another hint. I'm pretty sure that's not you. Ben? They made an indignant noise. I'm none of your friends. Oh. None of my... Oh. Are you, that new recruit we got a few days ago? What a terrible time for introductions. I definitely heard in passing between gossip management. Oh, gossips management sent us. Yet another new member for our small crew. They're usually considered an extra set of hands around the ship. Something about training on the job. I felt bad. They're probably being paid pennies for a position that wasn't even permanent. Not to mention ending up in a busted ship days after arriving. Normally in 2 months they'll be dropped off at the next depot, and we'll be picking up a new stranger in their place. Yo! At least if things went well and the ship doesn't explode. I hide the guilt in my eyes behind a smile. In that case, I don't think we've met. I'm usually so busy running around the ship doing other people's errands. Anyways, I'm Dee. I held out my hand. And you are? They freeze again. Staring at my hand as if expecting it to grow teeth and start snapping at them. What? Luna, you will shake my hand? Their hand darted out to grip mine tightly, squeezing so hard I let out an involuntary yelp. Hey, watch your grip, buddy. They quickly released my hand, recoiling. Mistake. Sorry. I mean, to say D. What? Who's Luna? Like, really? I did not mean to meet you so soon. I was still in the middle of cleaning. Cleaning? I raised a brow. Since when did we start hiring janitors? They gave a tears, awkward laugh, like the teetering of a bird call. Not the kind of cleaning I talk about, but yes. Okay. For the life of me, I couldn't pinpoint what accent they spoke in. I'm sorry, what was your name again? They stilled. I did not. Don't point at me, I didn't do nothing. They looked around before pointing at the tool belt excitedly. You will call me Wrench. No. A real name, please. I blinked behind my visitor. Pardon? Wrench? Yes. With the question mark is crazy. Like the shiny thing on your hip. Look full. I glanced down at it before regarding them with an incredulous squint. My colleagues probably put them to this. No. I'm not calling you that. They deflated, showed their sinking in disappointment. Oh, fine. You can still call me... Dot dot dot. More dots. A Tom. Tom. Adam? Adam. Oh, Adam, like the molecule thing. I gave a huffy sigh, arms akimbo. Are you tiny bit deaf? Wait. You are tiny bit deaf. Excuse me? I will remember. Oh my god, I'm not. When did they start hiring such eccentric members? What kind of name is Adam anyway? At least it was better than Wrench. I shook my head, resisting the urge to just turn around and leave. You didn't answer me though. Do you know where everyone else is? They shrugged, teetering back and forth on their toes. I have not seen them. They might be hiding. I narrowed my eyes in doubt. What? Oh my god. By the ways, I have a very important question. It means life and death. What? What is it? What is your favorite color? What? Just because I said what doesn't mean I didn't hear you. But I guess you're, if you can honk, you could hear kind of person. What is your favorite color? Jeez, relax. I want answer now. Fine. It's, oh my god. Red. Passion. Red like distant starburst. Very fiery. I will remember. I sputtered, giving them a deadpan look. What are you, 12? We don't have time for this. I'm 6 moons old, actually. 6 moons. 6 years old. Stop messing around. Look, I don't know what your deal is, but we have missing crewmates and a malfunctioning ship. Are we not freaking out is beyond me. But could you please get your head on straight and help me figure this out? Pretty please? They stayed silent, barely moving a muscle. My glare falters. Maybe I was a little harsh. At least until they started clapping their hands with a soft giggle. Inspire. I will help you to ends of galaxy, Luna. Once again, it's D. D, of course. Silly the me. Oh my god, you talk like Starfire. From fucking Teen Titans. God damn it. I huffed, resisting the urge to rub my temples. Rookies. Were they under the impression that I was someone important? Still, the presence of one strange individual as company was better than none at all. Where was I? Oh, right. Loading bay. Exosuit. Fixing ship. 3 simple things. I cleared my throat, hiding my anxiety as my arm gestured towards the opposite of the hall, where they were headed. I need someone to watch my back while I go outside. They perked up. Outside? You would like to swim? Outside is space. I frowned at their strange the analogy before nodding. Yeah? Sai told me, okay. Who is Sai? I blinked. The AI of the ship? Ah, of course. The II. There's no need, Luna. I already fix. You did? Even though Sai said it was still broken? I was wondering why they were wearing the suit. It had to be for a reason. Hang on, I thought you were cleaning. I have many talents. Skillful. That's great. I guess I don't have to then. I stood there awkwardly, rerouting my priorities now that one major task was taken care of. We could still check. We don't have to, like, take their word for it. I had to admit I was relieved. Anything to keep me the furthest I could be from the vastness of space. I guess that all that's left is to find the others. They didn't seem too happy about that. Others? Why? Why? Is that even worth asking? They lifted their head as if to give me a passive-aggressive look behind their dark helmet. I'm sure they are around. Excuse me. Wasting. Didn't take a genius to figure out how Adam felt about the rest of the team. Yeah. Very rude if you ask me. My co-workers must have given them the newbie treatment. Ate their guts, huh? They tittered? Yeah, quietly. Their guts. Yes. That's very interesting. But you care, so I will follow. Hopping on their foot, they clapped their hands once more. It would be a chance for me to know you better, Luna. D. I sighed, turning around to start heading towards the cabins. Let's go. Let us. So silly already. Hours. Hours of searching up and down and sideways. We looked through every possible nook and cranny of the ship I could think of. Baked clean as a carcass. Am I just going insane? Or did they really actually abandon me? I don't understand. Where could they be? Adam fiddled with their glove, humming an incoherent tune. Gone. Oh. I inhaled shakily, digging my hand through the air. How? They're primetime jerks, but this is too much. They could have just ditched me. Where would they even go? Do not fret, Luna. You are not alone. You have me! My eye twitched. That's not as big of a reassurance as you think it is. Papa. Would you like to eat? I think you should eat. Humans feel better after food, yes? What do you cook? What? What? Do you cook now too? Next to cleaning and fixing? I do many things. Very talent. I couldn't muster up the energy to even sigh. We already have Kiara handling our meals. They sputtered as if I just spat on their boot. Have you found Kiara? Let's think about that before we start just saying shit. Her food is inferior. Hardly crunchy. I don't think all food's supposed to be crunchy, buddy. I paused for a moment, wondering if I should question them further, but decided it wasn't worth the interrogation. If you say so. So you're a janitor, mechanic, and cook? What planet they pick you up from, huh? They flicked their wrist. As if I've given them a compliment. Rejoice! I'm very talented. I can do anything for you, Luna. Anything except find our crewmates, apparently. They shrugged nonchalantly, not a care in the world. Their apathy was something to behold. It wasn't my place to judge, but I just couldn't help feeling suspicious. We certainly meet a lot of different types of people working this job. They straightened. Adam did mention they fixed the ship, didn't they? I figured asking Sai again would be worth a shot. Not to mention, for these cases, maybe it was about time to look through the logs. Let's head back to Maine. Maybe I could figure out what happened here. They gave me an enthusiastic double thumbs up, eager to follow close with a pep in their step. I was still deciding whether I preferred being alone or not. Count my blessings, I supposed. We entered the main console, my steps leading me to the archives unit. Keying in my ID, I scrolled through the past few hours, only to feel my heart shrivel, freeze, and drop in the span of a second. Whoopsies. Every single log file in existence was corrupted. Even the backups of those backups. How could it? Hey, D. I actually just remembered another life and death question. Not now. My fingers were the keys ticking around for something. Got a fidgets and shovels behind me. But it is very important. I mean it very much this time. Oh, no. I said not now. They made another indignant noise, mumbling under their breath. Grumpy. I remember. Okay. Other than that, they seemed to stay put, watching me closely as I agonized over the console. Where is everything? I yelped as the console sparked. Static riddled the screens before it turned off completely. What? No. I don't think Adam fixed anything. So, I could only stare back at my reflection. Wisps of smoke curling between the crevices of the keys. Adam leaned over my shoulder to take a peek. Do you have time for a life and death question now? Oh my god. I closed my counting to 3 before exhaling out. What is it? And I made a happy noise. Glad to have my attention again. What can you eat? Oh my fuck. I furrowed my brows. What? What do you mean? They chuffed, impatiently tapping their foot. What can you eat? What can you eat without dying horrible, painful, choking death? Will you explode like Crater Bug if I give you the nut? What? Oh, peanuts. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. My head went somewhere else. Or your gut will fail to liquefy if if I give you lactose? Lactose. I completely disregarded that. Were they asking if I had any allergies? They mentioned something about cooking, didn't they? Our dietary information and restrictions are in our files. You didn't think to check? I could hear the point in their voice. Ow, whoopsies. Reading will take time. You will tell me now. Excuse me. I rolled my eyes, irritation cleared on my face. If it gets you off my back, I can eat anything. I'm a vegetarian. I'm a pescatarian. I'm a vegan. My diet is unique. I can eat anything. Convenient. I will remember. I fixed them with a pointed look. Aren't you worried, Adam? Where is everyone else? Shouldn't you be asking about their favorite colors and their tummy problems too? Uh-oh. At the question, their demeanor shifted. No. They starve. Oh, shit. Nah. They could die for all I care. The dead seriousness in their voice completely threw me off. It was full of stone-cold malice, unlike anything ever heard from them. I know they can be real insufferable at times. Trust me, I know. But the fact that they're missing is still a huge concern. They folded their arms, a rising heat in their tone. They are mean and bossy and kick you around. The captain, she is the worst. I would never forgive her. I blinked. Okay, wondering where the hell that even came from. How do you know? I shook my head, my frustration rising with every second of interaction with this newbie. That doesn't matter. This entire situation is wrong. Can't you see that? They shrugged. Everything I want to care about is right here. Never mind. I glanced over at the control panel. I was getting over the buttons and dials before landing on that very, very enticing big red button. I walked towards it. What are you doing? Calling for help? Captain always said not to press it unless necessary, but circumstances are dire. You're joking. Or at least I would, if the big red button didn't burst into sparks and smoke just as my fingers reached for it. How convenient. I stared slack-jawed as my hand hovered midair, 1 feet away from what should have been my one last ticket to salvation, away from this mess. What is happening? Amongst the many deities living in the stars, there's gotta be one out there that absolutely detests my entire whole being. Adam made a hum of acknowledgement, staring at the console. Bad luck. Thank you. I scoffed, gritting my teeth as I fumbled with my tool belt. Luck has nothing to do with this. Getting on my knees, I worked the paneling underneath the main console until it popped off with an unceremonious kerchunk. Adam stiffened behind me. I could only freeze in horror, attempting to comprehend what I was looking at. Those are some weird looking wires. What was supposed to be wires and circuit boards were riddled with pulsy inking tentacles. Oh, okay, never mind. Oh, that's what's in the thing! Oh, shit. Freaky! No, not tentacles. Worms. Ew. They bobbled and weaved and slid through the internal circuitry, barring. Yes, any possible attempt I had to even tinker with it. Ever insisting, I decided to proceed anyway. Pulling out my screwdriver and poking the closest part with the tip. Okay, there we go. They wriggled away in response. Whatever they were responding to the stimuli. That's creepy as hell. A voice murmured softly next to my ear. I do not think you should touch that, Luna. My grip tightened on my screwdriver. I don't think so either. So. Ugh! It's just down there now. Yikes, that gives me the shivers. I left it open, refusing to touch it more than I had to, even with gloves on. Oh. But I had to be sure. One by one, I pried open every hatch. Oh my god. And opened. Oh my god. Sorry. An opening I could think of within the room. Oh my god. Nothing but worms. Adam fidgeted with their hands, silent all the while. For once, they seemed to understand my growing desperation. Okay, it's freaky. My gut recoiled in disgust as I tossed the final panel away. The metal clattering against the floor. They've taken over the ship. Abandoned. Missing crewmates. Malfunctioning AI. Unknown funky organisms crawling through the ship. What the hell is anyone even supposed to do in this situation? I was never trained for this. Or I was, but that was my orientation months ago. And all they told us was to press the big red freaking button. Pacing back and forth, I fidgeted with the flaps. Ugh. Oh. My tool belt, muttering solutions under my breath. Luna? D. I do not see why you worry. Excuse me. Look. Do you not see the worms everywhere? I have seen them before. Safe. My steps halted at the casual admission. You've seen them before? They're not dangerous. Safe, secure. You told me not to touch them. Just because safe does not mean touch. Get out! I glanced around the room, uncomfortable tingles running up my arms, just looking at all the wriggling. Without the haze of panic, I could pick up on the distant smell of burnt eggs. I held back the urge to gag. Tell me you can look at all this and not want to puke. They jerked as if I was insulting their mother. Oh, I insulted their mother. 1. That is rude. 2. I have seen worse. The worms were spilling out of the floor and disappearing through the grates at our feet. But there's so many. They tutted in disappointment. Are you also scared of 100 million ants? That sounds terrifying. You are giant to ants, Luna. Well, scared of ants, I will remember. Excuse me, that's a lot of ants. They could definitely cover and then just start nipping. So it's still dangerous. What was that? Nothing. Worms safe. Admittedly, their easygoing demeanor about the whole thing did help me calm me a little. A detail they seem pleased by. I have another life and death question. Oh my god. Not another one of these. Is this a hobby of yours? What animal is your favorite? Don't ignore my question with another question. Animal now! Oh my god. What's my favorite animal? Cats? Wonder. I will remember. Can we take it easy with the icebreakers already? But understanding Luna is so much fun. Stop calling me that. What is wrong with calling you Luna? Well, because it's not my name. Nothing's wrong with it. It's just not my name. So I can call you Luna. That's not what I said. Okay. Ugh! I groaned, burying my face in my hands. Do what you want. They giggled cheerfully, hopping on one foot. I will. Oh. Let me get back to the worms. If you've seen them before, then how do you deal with them? You do not. I'm sorry, you do not? Why do with worms if safe? Just because safe does not mean let them infest the entire ship, Adam. Why not? Do I really need to explain? Actually, don't answer that. You know what? Stop talking. I'm just gonna sigh. Uh-oh. A soft crackle emitted from the speakers. How may I assist? I slumped in relief at hearing the monotonous voice once more. Meanwhile, Adam seemed to huff in annoyance, holding their arms after being brushed aside. I gave them a sort of glance of acknowledgement before turning my attention back to the ceiling. Where's the nearest station we can dock at? The nearest station is approximately 5. Recalculating. Apologies, I cannot finalize the distance. I thought you were fixed. I am. I was. It seems my navigational systems have been tampered with. Tampered? What do you mean tampered with? I have been tampered with. I know you said that, but in what way? A different way. You guys are so annoying so far. If Sai had a neck, I'd be gently wriggling it. Gently? Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Like changed? Altered? Affirmative. Who would... I looked over at Adam out of the corner of my eye, who's been staring at me the entire time. A brief second of paranoia filled my chest before I quickly quelled it. They've been with me for the past few hours. It didn't make sense. Is it the same for everything else? Does it feel like everything else has been altered, I mean? Yes and no. Upon rebooting, several of my usual functions were inoperable. I don't know why I keep messing that up. However, ever since my waking up, the loss of control has been increasing in increments since... Whoopsies. Wait, what? So you're telling me you're worse off than before? Affirmative. Why didn't you tell me sooner? My initiative directives were also tampered with as of 60 minutes ago. Oh my god. I cannot do what is not asked of me. I groaned. Loss of control? What does that mean? Are we being hijacked? Why would anyone want to take over this stupid vessel? We just deliver earthy and pet kibble. And platinum grade chew toys. Ooh, platinum grade? It is not an attack. The source is from within. The call is coming from inside the house. Within? The worms. It must have been those gross worms crawling through the systems. Then what can I do? Oh! Can you wait a second, Adam? Interrogating the— oh. Interrogating? I have suggestion. My head slowly turned to regard the newbie with an apathetic look. Yes, Adam? Take walk with me. My glare turned furious at their nonsense. In what 70 billion galaxies would that help? You told me these things were safe, and look what they did. We're stranded. Despite practically blowing up in their face, their helmet tilted, nothing but jubilance radiating off their body. Walk will help. Promise. What? Promise, Luna. It will help. Sure. Maybe it was the fact that I just needed a breather, but I ended up agreeing to go with Adam. They could tell I was about to accept the invitation, considering they took a step forward. No, towards me. And yanked me forward by the wrist, before I could even say a word. The next thing I knew, my boots were thumping against the grates behind theirs, their grip around my wrist firm without a chance for me to slip. Their excited laughter echoed as they led me down the halls. Less of a brisk walk and more of a merry jog. They confidently took turns, okay, without even glancing to check. It seemed they had a destination in mind. Eventually they stopped in front of the airlocks, or rather, what we used as the garbage chute. Technology wasn't sophisticated on this ship. That was something I had to accept ages ago. Every time I came into proximity around this area, I worried the creaking would finally give way to a collapsed doorway, sucking me into the abyss. I kind of understand why Adam brought me here. The view through the glass separating us from oblivion in the other room was still, admittedly, breathtaking. Though in my case, it would be literal, considering I have to hold back a panic attack every time I caught a glimpse outside. I wasn't even terrified of space until I got this job. Some practical jokes just leave a worse impression than others. Adam doesn't notice my subtle distress, or even if they did, decided to ignore it. It is like I remember. You've been here before? Many moons ago. What? You're only 6 moons old. So, how many could that have been? One day I'd take you swimming. Oh my god. Swimming? Oh right, they meant outside. Just the very thought made my palms sweat, my heart sinking within my ribcage. Did they really get a thrill from helplessly floating out in space? It would explain why they haven't taken off the suit yet. I don't think I can. Yes, you can. It is easy. They reach for my hands, intertwining our fingers and squeezing gently through our gloves. Let them, or your hands. If you push me outside, I'm gonna kill you. The contact was out of the blue, but at this point I've come to accept my crewmates' quirks. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed to this nonsense in the first place. Maybe the stress of the unknown was making me lenient. I couldn't see their face, but I could somehow tell they were beaming. Wait, we're not doing this now, right? I don't want to go outside. They tilted their head in confusion. We are not. You are not wearing a suit for swimming. Okay, good. At least you know that. Oh. I relaxed. Then is there a reason we're holding hands next to the dumpster? Many reason. Can you give me like one? They hummed in thought. I remember great happiness here. Huh? You ask for a reason that is reason. Ooh. They tightened their grip, stepped forward into my space, their helmet nearly bumping my nose. I startled, leaning back. I can tolerate the hand-holding, but I appreciate my own bubble of oxygen, Adam. They laughed again, light and airy. I will make your oxygen for you. Excuse me? What? I only want to see you. Are you trying to see every single pore on my face, too? They teetered again, a smile in their voice. You are funny. I will remember. I sighed. That was barely a joke. Why do you keep saying that like you're keeping tabs on me? They paused briefly before realizing what I was referring to. I should know, must know, everything to make Luna happy. Nothing else will matter. I held my breath, staring at them in bewilderment. Okay. At this point, I couldn't even deny it anymore. It was clear Adam was smitten. Gods know why. That's a bold confession. Not bold enough. Never enough. Okay, calm down there. Should I just ask? Are you in love with me? Don't say that shit. Ask something else? I wonder what the something else is, though. Slow down. We could totally ask them if they know, like, if they have anything to do with the worms, because very suspicious. I think that's what something else is. Let's do that. There was no way I could just ask that. The utter and absolute humiliation my body will experience on the chance I was wrong would combust me on the spot. I didn't pick the loved one. Why do you keep calling me Luna? What is wrong with Luna? It's cute. It's stupid. Say nothing. I don't know. Never mind. Their grip grew tighter. Why do I call you Luna? They took a good while to respond, staring in silence. Difficult to explain. Beauty cannot compare. Oh. Maybe they did have a thing for me after all. What? Against all odds, my cheeks grew warmer. I played it off like I didn't care that it sounded like a compliment. My face looks like a moon to you? Yes. Breathless. Oh. The others do not deserve you. Oh. This is crazy. The voice had lowered to a whisper, a reverence in their tone I found unsettling. I will rot them? Until there's nothing left. What? Ah. Nothing. My Luna. Unlike the ship and everyone in it, you are the real angel. Angel? Were they talking about the ship's name? Bidadari did mean angel in some language, I couldn't remember. Ever since the expansion of intergalactic travel, there were too many languages to keep track of, including those outside of Earth. Oh, I am done cleaning. What? I snapped out of my thoughts. Cleaning? Shit. Oh my god. Stop it. The lights flickered, turning into a colored hue. Your favorite. Oh, thank you. It's red. You're so nice. Thank you for that. I blinked. The lights weren't meant to do that. What did you just do? They laughed cheerily, holding out their arms as if proud. I make shit better. You would not need Sai anymore. You would not need friends anymore. I will care for everything. Food, flesh, favorite things. Everything would be your liking. My Luna Nova. What? Ah, right. You are a tiny bit deaf. Should I repeat? No! Can you please explain what's going on? What did you just do to the ship? Where are my comrades? Ha ha ha. If I'm being honest, you will not like them. Oh, like me. Their words sent a cold chill up my back. This is something, definitely. But that is alright. Everything is alright. This isn't alright. Nothing was ever alright with this person. Adam admired my silence for a moment, before leaning closer. What is it you want, Luna? Ask, and I will give everything of me. I want to... Hit them with your wrench? hit them with your wrench? Those are both the same. Guys, no. What the heck? They're both the same. No. I don't want to hit them with my wrench. I have other tools. I'm just kidding. I don't want to hit them at all. But I guess I have to, right? Oh! My gosh. They made the ship red for me. No! No! I braced my feet, goddamn, on the ground and swung. The sound of glass cracking. Sound of glass cracking sharpened my ears as the impact traveled down my shoulder. Adam made a sound like a strangled animalistic cry, dropping to their knees and clutching at their head. Typically, space helmets shouldn't crack under that kind of force. They were supposed to be bulletproof, and you'd crack your skull sooner than you'd crack your helmet. But the company was cheap, and for once, that was to my benefit. Luna? My eyes widened as I stumbled back. Worms dripped out of their head, slapping wetly against the grate before joining the rest between the crevices. Okay. I already knew they couldn't possibly be part of my crew, but seeing what was essentially a suit full of worms did it for me. Ah! No! I bang another hit for good measure, a guttural screech scattering more worms across the floor. Luna! They gripped the wrench tight, abandoning their crawling form to sprint down the hall towards the emergency escape pods. No thank you. The walls and floors creaked and groaned as I ran, contorting in shape to trip me. I readied myself with a flailing of my arms, coughing for breath as I threw open the hatch for the escape pod and clambered inside in a mess of limbs. I buckled in, hands shaking as I flicked buttons and dials for the ignition, heart painfully hammering against my ribs. It looks nice in here. The countdown flickers on the screen, the vessel's shuddering to life. 10, 9, 8. Oh my god! Please, no! What the hell? You were so nice. What happened? I screamed, jumping in my seat. Adam clawed at the pod, its worm-like innards pulsing and bulging between the cracks of its scattered helm. 6. Luna, Luna, Luna. 5. It giggled softly, sighing in mock disapproval. 4. You know it is useless. 3. So smart. 2. A tiny bit stupid. 1. Oh my god. The buttons and dials reset simultaneously, in harrowing clicks, the pod jittering to a stop. I was left staring at Adam's cracked helmet as it chitters. Its laugh sounded more insect-like. You can have tantrum. I do not mind. It leaned against the glass. Helmet thudding as it tilted its head. In that love-struck way characters do in cartoons. I will wait. Its fingers tapped playfully against the glass, distorted humming coming from the mass inside its head. I sat there frozen, my body unable to even tremble from shock. I licked my lips, refusing to look away. My voice sounded distant and muffled, even through my own ears. What are you? Adam stopped its rhythmic tapping. Ah. Talkative so soon. I can't do anything else. It stared a moment before giggling, shoulders shaking with mirth. Candid. Very true. What am I? It seemed to consider a moment before knocking its helm against the glass again in excitement. Do you remember, Luna, many moons ago, on this ship? I was small, weak, and hungry. I racked my brains for an inkling of what it was talking about. A stowaway. Was it possible? I was ready to die. But I sneak into the metal box instead and find crunchy bits. Food? You found food? The edibles. The fucking pet food? Are you serious? Yes. Joy and applause. But I find food to also find problem. Your friends. Mean and hasty. Oh my gosh. Surround me like moon lions. If you're gonna be stealing our rations, of course they'd be pissed. Rations? No, that's pet food. We're gonna eat pet food? The worms writhed wildly as if in anger. But I was so small and weak. They want to crush me under boots and burn me alive. Every single face, stormy. All but yours. They paused for a moment, reminiscing. The worms calmed. You look at me. Mercy. Aw. Star among the black holes. Their tone softened to that of reverence. Do you remember? Holding me in your glove? Do you remember? Shooting me into space? I shot you into space. That sounded like a death sentence rather than a rescue. And then it clicked. 6 months ago. You got into the dog food, didn't you? That's what I'm saying! It perked up, nodding eagerly. Maria had found a pest, digging through the supplies and eating through half the bags. She called the whole group to catch it while I was busy repairing the hole it crawled through. Caught in a jar, shaken and punished, just trying to survive. Kiara suggested throwing it in the engine furnace. Marcus wanted to pick it apart. The others chimed in other horrible torturous methods out of boredom when letting it out of the airlock hatch was so easy. I ran off with it just as they started bickering. It was no bigger than my palm. I just thought you were an endangered species. In an honest, truthful way, I did. The markings matched, didn't they? A chirp of amusement. You were very smart with the ship. A tiny bit stupid with the animals. Excuse me. It sighed longingly, tracing a circle over my face with a finger on the glass. I remember your smile. I cannot forget. I never forget. You saved my life, my Luna Nova. My kind answer, action, in spades. You are getting what you deserve. The pod sputtered. Oh my god. I know that you're nice. I do, but that wriggly shit is still very creepy. The pod sputtered, screws spinning loose and dropping to the ground with muffled clinks by my boots. I watched in horror as worms started squeezing in through the holes. Oh my god! Swarming in. They land on my lap, my arms, my shoulders, they gap around my collar. I could feel them crawling around my ear, brushing against my cheek, prodding against my visor. More and more, piling on and on. Get them off of me, please. Stop. I unbuckled myself, kicking open the hatch as Adam stepped back in time. Bursting out of the pod. I scrambled to flick away the horrid things off my body, shuddering as the sensations still ghosted over my skin. Adam watched, hardly offended. Haha. I got impatient. It snatched my hand before I could finish. Right. Ridding myself off the worms. Oh, ridding. Whoopsies. The remaining ones curled around me, sticking to my clothes and skin in a way that was almost affectionate. Now we have our home ready. What would you like to do, my Luna Nova? Home. It nodded excitedly. Home. Ship. Right. Adam took over the Bidadari. Even now, I could hear distant creaking and dull rumbling all around us, transmitting gentle tremors from under my boots. Like the ship itself had come alive, breathing. My voice came out meek and numb. I want to go back to Earth. Adam shook its head. No, no, no. I am better than any planet. I can make anything. Here. It cupped its palms together and something started wriggling underneath its gloves. Small colored pebbles rolled into its hands from the cuffs of its sleeve, going into a pile before it presented them to me. Scrumptious. What is that? I recognized the dry pellets instantly. Is it offering me dog food? Are you serious? I gently nudged it. Its back. What? I gently nudged its hand back down. I can't eat that. It gasped in shock, an intense pout in its voice. Why not? You can eat anything, yes? You told me so. That doesn't include dog food. It sighed and tutted. The worms wriggling about in annoyance. Fine, fine. I learned from Cook what to cook. I paused. Are you talking about Kiara? I dig her brain for recipe. Plentiful. What is that even? Never mind. I don't want to know. Somewhere in my confusion, Adam had hidden the kibble away. Suspiciously muffled, crunching noises come from within its chest. I eye it wearily. What were those things even made of? If I had a mouth, it would give me a cheeky grin. Me. My body shuddered, squinting down into its gaping head wound. The smell of burnt eggs was even more intense. I don't want to eat worms. It laughed, nonchalant. It would not taste like worms. Did not even look like worms, remember? Oh my god. Oh. I could also make you some cats. I do not know what cats is, but Luna can show me. Would you like your own cats? I briefly imagined an animal made of wriggling black worms. I ignored the nausea collecting in the back of my throat. At the thought. That's fine. I pointed at its helmet. Doesn't that hurt? It made a confused noise before realizing where I was staring. It is like fresh air. Fresh air? Adam really is just worms. You're not mad at me? You said you return favors, so... It shook its head quickly. I will never ever. You can do the hitting again, if that is what you want. What? No. Don't be crazy. Then again, what did I expect from something not even human? Stop. I startled as Adam removed my glove. Uh-oh. You're so nice, but... the people. God damn. Raising my hand with a firm grip, Adam nuzzled into me, carefully avoiding nicking me on the jagged edges. The smooth glass rubbed against my palm as the worms retracted within the helm, avoiding touching me directly. Even then, it let one stray worm crawl around my thumb, the texture cold and foreign and strange. I could feel light vibrations on my skin as they let out a happy hum. We would sing and dance and fall in love, Luna. I cleared my throat awkwardly, resisting the urge to tug my hand free. I think you're being a little too optimistic for your own good, Adam. It chittered happily at the sound of its chosen name on my lips. Optimist. Of course I am. You have no choice but to like me. Its hold tightened around my wrist. And do not ever think of escaping. I will hunt you. I will find you. We will start all over again. I gulped. What if I ask nicely? No. No! Stay. But stay. I swallowed thickly, not daring to move a muscle or protest another word. I didn't think I'd be held hostage by an enamored parasitic worm. Extraterrestrial thing. This whole situation was so bizarre. I expected to wake up under the red lights again if I tried hard enough. This is crazy. It tutted in satisfaction. What is the saying of the melody? No, it's this is Spanish and I can't read it. I'm so pathetic. No es la locura en realidad es la amor. Since when do you used to be my angel? The lights over our heads dimmed, the reflection of Adam's helmet illuminating, the look of dread on my face. Now I can be yours. Oh my god. We dance in ceremony synchronous we dance in synchronous rotation. Thank you for playing. That was good though. There's no like escaping or whatever, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. It's just, it's so creepy. We gotta stay here forever, and we gotta live off of like worms. They're like, it won't taste like worms. Well, it is technically, even if you change the shape of it and everything. It's like still worms, buddy. Either way, that was Astronaut. It was actually pretty good. I liked it. I don't know, all of their games are really nice. So cute. All the characters are always adorable as hell. It's just so good all around. If you guys enjoyed it, a like would be very much appreciated. Of course, subscribe for more. And with all of that being said, I will see you guys next time. Bye, my loves.